So what we're talking about today is the 5S processes. And what we're going to learn today is the importance of 5S, the history of 5S, 5S in office spaces and what it is for, the actual 5S's themselves, and continuous improvement culture. The 5S's are sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. 5S traces back to the 1950s. It was originated in the automotive industry. Sachi Toyota and Son Kurochi, as well as the Toyota engineer Taiichi Ono, developed the 5S methodology, what they called total production systems of TPS after World War II. It was developed out of necessity because of limited resources and to make every scrap count and waste nothing. This is kind of a life without 5S. It's just hectic and crazy. These are actual offices that you're looking at in some cases. So what impression are we giving our customer? Is the customer feeling confident that he's going to receive quality service? Clean and orderly office is more conducive and more organized, it's more productive, and it's safe. 5S is a systematic approach to workplace organization and housekeeping. 5S promotes discipline in the workplace. 5S is the first step toward world-class manufacturing. Most importantly, implementing a good 5S program eliminates the need, helps eliminate the key 8 wastes identified in lean manufacturing: defective production, overproduction, waiting, non-used employee talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and excessive or over-processing, which all spells out downtime. So let's get into the first 5S. Sort. Remove anything that is not required to perform a daily job assignments. Garbage needs to be gathered and disposed of in a proper manner. Items of value but not needed should be removed and tagged for disposition. Items of value not needed on a daily basis should be properly located and identified for future use. You kind of see the color of the tags that you might want to use to do this. Green is necessary. Yellow is not necessary now, but maybe it will be in the future. And red is just unnecessary. You go through the sort process. You look around the workplace along with the colleagues to discover and identify items which are not needed and not necessary to complete work. Develop criteria for disposal for not needed items. Take before photographs. The effective method for recording the process is to tag the items not needed. The visual control of the not needed items is often called red tagging. Find a holding area to put the red tag items in. Display the pictures of the items and place it in the public board for it's visible to all. You do that so that people can really see it, and maybe somebody does actually need that, and if so, they should identify it from that public board. We do have a flow chart here to take a look at, and this is kind of where it starts, from the sort. So the sort process, a typical tagging, if you take a look here at this rather large flow chart, you can take a look and see how it works. You start out, is it used now? Is it necessary now? You green tag it. It's not necessary now. It's no longer needed. If it's not needed, red tag it in such a way that everyone knows the items, the quantity, and the reason for the red tag. Remove it immediately from the work area and decide appropriate actions to take with it. If it's not needed now, but it's needed, maybe it's used once a week, remove it from the direct work area, store it close, put a yellow tag on it. If it's used once a month, store it somewhere where it's accessible in the facility, still have that yellow tag. If it's used once a year, evaluate the options in order, when needed, maybe off-site. Do you really need to have it as something that you can rent? If it's something you can just pick up here and there, it really depends on back how expensive it is. If that's a no, you don't really need it, only because it's only once a year, then bring it back to the red tag process. So you want to red tag defective items, dead or obsolete items, passive items, leftover material. You also want to make sure that you have a red tag area. All the items must be tagged and they must be put into that certain area. So the rules of the red tag come up with clear standards for unnecessary items, supporting that everybody can see them at a glance. Any material can serve the purpose of a red tag as long as it's striking. Get the viewpoint of the employees other than the one working in that area. Attach a period, the maximum maybe 1 week. Then you go through the sorting, filing, categorization, ready access storage, transfer previous year documents, remote storage. Then it's set. Arrange and organize all items for ease of use in the operation. Item locations should be identified and clearly marked. Items should always be returned to the same location. Items should be placed in order of frequency of use, and heavier items need to be placed lower on racking. Make sure that all unnecessary items are eliminated from the workplace. Taking the workflow into account, decide which things to put where. Take before photographs wherever necessary. Also decide with colleagues about which things to put where and at what point of view of the efficient operations. So something you're using on a daily basis and maybe every half hour or every 15 minutes. You don't want to have it so that you have to walk to get it. You want it within your reach. But maybe something you're only using once a day at the end of the day, maybe you put it into a central location and you walk a little bit. So you make a clear list of the items with the locations and put it on lockers, put it on cabinets, put it on racking. Label it all. Show what's actually kept inside and where it's at. That way everybody knows where to put something when they're bringing it back. Identify all needed items, of course, with labels. And once you're done sorting everything and getting everything in the set process, take some more pictures. Show the work that you've done. Show how nice it looks. Then we go into the shine process. Clean, 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 clean. That's the key word here. Cleaning is an ongoing process. It requires commitment. It requires dedication. It requires it from every single person in the company. If you're walking through the plant, if you're walking through an office area, and you see something on the floor, stop and pick it up. If it needs to be put away, put it away. If it needs to be thrown away, throw it away. Individuals responsible for cleaning need to be identified and trained. So maybe you're working in a certain area. Well, that area is your responsibility. If you're not sure how to clean it, maybe you have equipment there that you just don't know how to clean. Well, you probably need to be trained on that because it is your responsibility, unless somebody else has identified otherwise. All required items to clean should be readily available and properly stored in the immediate area for easy use. This is where shadow boards come in, and I'm sure everybody has seen shadow boards and how they work. This is where you want to kind of put them. So once again, take before pictures before you shine everything up. Adopt cleaning as a daily activity as part of the inspection. Clean the workplace before starting the job and before closing the job. Find ways to prevent dirt and contamination. Keep a log of all the places and areas to be improved. Check sheets that should be maintained on a daily basis. And take some more after photographs to show what you've done. Then you want to move to standardize. Standardize the way that your work is completed to ensure you do not digress back to the old ways. Create SOPs on agreed upon method of performing a routine task. Create a checklist and audit the areas pointing to successes and areas that need to be improved. Create standard labels and signage and place in the proper areas. Identify flow of materials for entering and exiting a cell. Use signs hanging from the ceilings to identify areas and routes in other areas. Take before photographs. You see a key going on here is photographs. Take pictures. Keep showing it. It shows the improvements. It shows the processes. Check that the first 3 S's are implemented properly. Establish your routines and standardize the practices for regularly and systematically repeating the first 3 S's. Regularly evaluating the status of the first 3 S's. Standardize the red tag procedures. Standardize procedures for creating shadow boards, position lines, and labeling all items. Standardize cleaning schedules. Take after photographs. Sustain. Sustain is the hardest step. It never ends. It's always got to be there. Opportunities for improvement on steps 1 through 4 should be regularly implemented. The entire team must buy into the sustain process. Sustaining and maintaining a proper 5S program greatly contributes to overall safety. Everyone in the workplace should treat it as they would their own home. Everybody wants to live in a clean environment. Everybody wants to have stuff put away. Nobody really likes clutter. Employees must make it part of their daily work and not action forced upon them. So that's to say that it's part of your routine. You shouldn't have to be told by the supervisor to clean that area or to put something away properly. It's just part of the routine. It becomes habit. Senior management should initiate a celebration for the total 5S implementation, take an active part in the total process of initiating and carrying forward the program. The 5S process, the whole process, should be led by the highest person in the organization. That person should be the leader of it. It should be the person beating the drums. It should be the person initiating celebrations for jobs well done. At the same time, the senior management should be doing a periodic checks of it all, reviewing the status of the 5 S's. Single point lessons should be used to communicate the standards for how 5S works and how it should be done. Root cause problem solving processes should be in place where root causes are eliminated and improvement actions include prevention. So maybe we'll go into a 5Y process. You can see by the pictures here how happy all the people are. So you want total 5S communication boards. Be proud of what you've done. Put your 5S team members on the board. Show their names, show their pictures. What are their boundaries? Where are they at? And show that 5S routine checklist that's being looked at every day just to show that, look, we're proud of this. This is what we're doing. Show the photos. Show your current, show your after, show your before. Show all your photos. You've done good work. Be proud of it. 5S implementation plan, you should have that up there all the time so that anybody can read it. It might take up 2 or 3 different slots. And then you also want to show your 5S routine checklist. Just to show your blank checklist, people can go grab one, go do a 5S audit, and bring it back over and document it. Remember these offices before? Well, here they are afterwards. 5S does not need to always be throwing away what is extra or necessary. It has to take into account the value of things also, how important they are to efficient operations. So just because you're not using something doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be thrown away. It may be able to be disposed in another way, it may be able to be sold. It may also be very important to somebody else in the organization. And it may be that you need to have this at once a year, and it costs so much money that you need to ensure that you have it. But having 2 computers is a violation of the company's 5S rules, the standardized working space. This little fellow says, I need 2 computers to test my software. There's no way to do my job with one. She says, I have a compromise solution. Put this little red tag on one of them and tell me later if anything bad happens. That's not really a good process to go through, is it? So there is also now a 6S. The 6S is safety. Safety has to be part of everything we do. It has to be part of all the organization, and it has to be implemented throughout the organization. It should be the first thing that's in our minds. Many organizations now call the 5S process actually a 6S process. I've heard it called a 5S plus 1. The 6S is often considered to be safety, as I said. I think it should be the first S is safety, but usually it is put as a 6. Safety is the natural effect of a well-run and dedicated 5S process. Many other factors can help with a safe environment, but the 5S process is one of the most effective ways of removing the possibility of workplace accidents. Safety, productivity, pride, and a sense of self-worth are all the backbone of the 5S processes.